Facial right, but this ain't no little tussle. Bet I beat no bird, being chicken to get your feathers ruffled. Footwork, I'm dancing around my opponent like the Cupid shuffle. Good work, bodies hit the flow, they can't move a muscle. The upside is we ain't in the streets, shooting and shooting up. Catch me in the ring, sticking, moving and suited up. I know everybody can eat, but I ain't full enough. Oh, you said it's smoking some beef? I guess I'm pulling up. Oh, we boxing? Yeah, we boxing. I need that belt like it ain't no other option. So we punching and weaving and blocking, defeat ain't an option. Let them know, shoot a video, put it on BVO. Let them know, every time I punch, it's a heavy blow. BVO, bound to hit like bricks cause it was set in stone. Let them know, I ain't getting body, but I'ma hit this flow. Yeah, way more than the show.
Primo Lopez, the takeover, two-time undisputed world champion. Primo Lopez, the...
Yo, what's up? It's your boy, BBO Boxing, the CEO of Boxing Talk. Of course, we got the Puerto Rican Prince himself, B3 in the house, a.k.a. the Oscar De La Hoya hater, a.k.a. anything that's not a black fighter hater. My man, the Puerto Rican Prince, B3. And, of course, we got my guy, CDK. What's going on, y'all?
What's going on, bro?
How y'all feeling, man?
I'm all right, bro. Blessed. How y'all feeling?
Chilling.
Hey, I wanted to take a break from the same old three guys we keep talking about. So I thought we'd do a Super Bowl preview, man. And one of the things I'll say, I don't know if you guys think this, but I really feel like the NFL is trying to replace its core fans. What do you guys think about that?
You said, say that again, brother.
I said, I think the NFL is trying to replace its core fans with what you would call like casual fans. Instead of hardcore football fans, I think they're going out their way to kind of change the fan base by boosting up Taylor Swift. You know, we're seeing some of the most outrageous calls of all time. I want to get you guys' thoughts on that. What you guys think you're seeing on that?
Go ahead, Free.
You said, do we think that it's interfering?
No, what I'm saying, you think they're trying to replace the fans with more of casual fans and not so much hardcore football fans? Because I kind of see football is really going out of its way to kind of push the whole Taylor Swift thing. It's like more of a pop thing because the product, I think, is not as good. What do you guys think?
I mean, well, the NFL, I mean, they've been doing this for years now. I mean, the NFL is the number one sports in America. It passed baseball and basketball a long time ago, and they never looked back. And if you look at the NFL, they set the trend to what other sports decide want to do. They were the first ones to get involved with the hip hop and R&B, as far as the national anthem and stuff like that. And then we started seeing the NBA started doing it. They started having hip hop and R&B artists get involved in their sports, and then we started seeing baseball get involved with it. So I mean, football set the trend for all of the other sports when it comes to the things that they do. They always keeping up with the time. They know what the people like. They know what the people want to see. So they try to keep up with the times, and that's why they're the number one sport in America. I think they always going to be the number one sport. The only thing that kind of pull the casuals back from the NFL is the way they call in plays now is more of a flag football type league than it is the gridiron that we used to, the hard hitting, the jaw dropping hits that we see, the highlight hits that we see. We don't see too many highlight hits anymore because you can't hit the people like that. You gotta pretty much let them come down and be able to protect themselves before you could put a big hit on. So that's the only thing that I see as a drawback from the NFL. Other than that, NFL is leading all sports. They every year they only put up, well, now it's 17 games. They only play 17 games, and they by far lead all sports in revenue generated because of the fact that they are so popular.
I
Go
definitely
ahead. No, bad. Go ahead.
definitely agree. I definitely agree with everything Free said. You know, football has always been really, man, in boxing and football, my favorite two sports. And football for a long time now has been changing over. You know, you go from the time of the greats when we were watching, football. Me coming up as a young man watching, the reason I fell in love with the Detroit Lions was because of Billy Sims in a run game. And now football is more of a pass game. You don't see, you don't have the great running back like that no more. A lot of things have changed. Players like Tom Brady are able to play. He was able to play as long as he did because they took so much out of football with the hits and stuff and changed the rules. And like he said, made it flag football where you really can't, hit the quarterback like that. And that's why players are able to do the things they do. One thing about football, like you said, it generates more money than any other sports in the United States. Uh, I think the only other sport that I can think of that maybe generates that type of money is soccer, which is not really an American sport. Soccer pulls in, generates a lot of money. Football with them, they generate a lot of money, but to me, the players, it's hard to say this, and people be like, "What do you mean they underpaid?" But I feel like football players out of any sport are underpaid. If we're gonna say anybody's getting underpaid, that's how I feel about it.
They salute the Susan, salute them 88 sports pulling up. I think what you see in there is really almost a totally different game. It's kind of sad because it almost looked rigged. I mean, when I look at some of the calls you see, the holding, I mean, it's pretty much if you try to do anything to stop a receiver from running free, it's a flag. And I think to myself, like, Chet Bailey couldn't, I mean, not Chet Bailey, Rod Woodson, you know, Chet Bailey, all these great cornerbacks and safeties and stuff, you probably would have never had an Ed Reed because you couldn't touch anybody. I mean, then I think about maybe like the hard hitters. Used to be a guy up in Dallas, Roy Williams, Ronnie Lott. Them guys couldn't play professional football now because the way they call them things, Troy Polamalu, a lot of the stuff that we grew up loving in football is over with. And I'll ask you guys this. This is just my thing. It's not me sour grapes because the Brownies didn't go all the way, even though half the roster was hurt. I think we had 16 people hurt, 12 of them starters, but we still made the playoffs. But we ain't talking about the Brownies. Let me ask you guys this. Do you guys see the decline in football as far as ratings have been declining the last 2 years in consecutively? Do you think that's a normal trend or you think that's just something passing?
Go ahead, Free. Hello.
I don't know, my man
Okay.
pretty much fell off.
My
Go
bad.
ahead.
Say that
Oh,
question again. I couldn't hear you.
no, what I was saying is, do you think that the sign it's a bad sign the ratings have been going down the last 2 years consecutively after a 3-year run of the ratings being lower than they ever been for the NFL?
No, I mean, it can be an ongoing thing. I mean, like I said, the reason why they came so strict on the penalty call and the hitting is because they want these superstars to play a lot longer to bring in more revenue. The longer Tom Brady played, the more money the New England Patriots was making every single year. Remember, New England Patriots wasn't a team that a lot of people watched. They had Drew Bledsoe, and nobody really paid attention to New England. And Drew Bledsoe, I mean, he led them to the playoffs. Tom Brady took over when Drew Bledsoe got hurt, and they never looked back until Tom Brady left. And that's a lot of these rules was changed because of Tom Brady, because of Aaron Rodgers, because of Peyton Manning, because of these superstar athletes that they had that was bringing in so much revenue. They want these players to play longer. Like if we had these type of penalties back in the day, a lot of these players would have played much longer. We wouldn't have had running backs only playing 10 years, playing 9 years, and you never hear of them again. A lot of these running backs are playing much longer because it's not so much of a run offense. It's more of a passing offense. The running back still has some plays in the game, but it's more so geared to the quarterbacks and the receivers. And so they want to highlight putting more scores on the board. I mean, you got to look at it. The NFL is the first major league sports in America to go overseas and play a game overseas. They was only playing one game overseas. Now I think they got like 6 or 7 games that they're playing overseas. We having it where teams gotta have at least one game over there every other year. You gotta play at least one game over there every other year. So it's we're gonna start seeing the NBA do it. We're gonna start seeing baseball do it. It's something that, like I said, the NFL changes the rules for everybody. When the NFL do it and they see the success that the NFL have, all of the other major sport follow suit because the NFL makes so much money. The NFL is a multi-billion-dollar sports event every single year. I mean, if you look at the Super Bowl, just to buy a 30-second slot in the Super Bowl, you're paying $7 million for a 30-second slot for the commercial for the Super Bowl. Just to put a commercial up for the Super Bowl. That's how much money they're generating every single year. That's why I say the Super Bowl makes way more money than anybody else. The only other sport that comes close to the Super Bowl is the NBA, and because the NBA plays 82 games. But even still, NBA play 82 games. They got a lot more teams than the NFL have. The NFL only got 32 teams. The NBA, I believe they got somewhere around 40 or 50. I think it's somewhere around 50 teams, and they play a lot more games. And to try to keep up with the NFL, baseball play 162 games, and they not even keeping up with the NBA. The NFL, their players play an average. They get a contract an average of 5 years. They might, if they're a top level player, they getting somewhere between 15 to 30 something $million for those 5 years. NBA, they getting 7-year contract, maybe a 10-year contract. The major leagues baseball, they getting 10-year contract in order to get those numbers. They getting a $200 million contract, but they playing for 10 years on that same team. Where in the NFL, you might get a $200 million contract. You only playing 5 years on that contract, and you might get 60, 70 of that guaranteed. The rest of it is if you finish that contract, you get the rest of that finishing out that contract. So the NFL, it leads the way in all of the other sports.
Peace to everybody on the panel, man. I didn't get to hear the question.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, B-Bill.
Go ahead. Go ahead, CDK.
Okay, the question basically was, I think he was talking about how the rating in football has dropped off somewhat. And man, D-Free, man, you hit it on the head again as far as talking about, but one thing about the rating is crazy. If, even with the rating dropping down just a little bit, football still the number one sport.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but have the ratings dropped?
Yeah, the last 3 years. The last 2 years they've gone down.
Yeah, it went down.
Really? Because I know the revenue has gone up in the past 5 years.
You got to think of it like this. It's the number one sport, so it's down. It's not at the bottom of the barrel. So it's like when somebody risks with declare bankruptcy. Yeah. They're not broke, but they're gonna feel it.
But is that cable ratings? Does that also take into account like NFL Sunday Ticket, YouTube TV, and different streaming apps and stuff like that?
YouTube,
it's everything involved. Everything involved.
Let my brother CDK finish real quick. Go ahead, CDK. My bad.
Yeah. Go ahead, CDK. My bad.
And y'all right, but the thing you gotta look at it just like this. A lot of what's going on is this right here. The ratings go down, but prices go up. Just like something the free hit on. You think about the commercial prices going up, or the seats at the Super Bowl right now. I forgot what they said, man. I'm talking about a nosebleed seat was probably like $8,000. So the money is, even it's better now. So even with the ratings dropping, when they say the ratings drop, basically mean like people not watching like they used to. You know what I'm saying? But the numbers haven't fell off to where it's a big old where you can really just tell. The NFL, like you said, is the number one sport. You know what I'm saying? Over here in the United States, and far as man, just the Super Bowl, like you was talking about stuff being rigged. I'm not gonna say, you know what I'm saying? People say all the time, you played in the NFL, so you will have a better understanding of whether or not games are rigged. I always wonder myself sometimes is games rigged. You know what I'm saying? I swear to you, man, my team, Detroit Lions, when my coach called, called and didn't take them field goals, I wanted to say right then he took a cut, you know what I'm saying? But I know he didn't, but that's how I feel. But you know what I'm saying? The NFL, man, is still going think about this. Baseball. I went to the store the other day and just was looking at some baseball bats for my son. Man, a baseball bat costs $400, $400 for a good bat. That's why
Ooh.
this real talk. I went to the store. I had a video. I haven't posted the video yet with the prices of baseball bats and gloves and stuff because I really was looking into it and just seeing why. Because I like playing baseball. I was a pretty good baseball player, softball player. Just having, not great, but I just had fun. I can play decent. And I'm just looking at the prices and like, man, this is crazy. This is why kids, play football, and it's why I think for a long time to come, football gonna be one of the number one sports. It don't cost a lot to play football. You know what I'm saying? Compared to some of the other sports.
Yeah, and I just want to make another note. I just looked this up. According to Fortune.com, the NFL is eating TV ratings as its ratings soar 7% to the second highest ever, averaging 17.9 million homes. So, according to this article, the NFL is still dominating TV ratings. That's
Oh
the
yeah,
second highest ever that they posted.
yep. They
That,
definitely
So,
dominate.
yeah,
I give you.
I don't
Yep.
think that I don't think that there's a decline right now. I do think that what BVO is talking about is true. I do think a lot of older guys are not as interested in the game because it's not as physical. There's a lot more penalties and stoppages because, you know, it- they're just trying to officiate out the physicalness. They're even talking about taking away hip drop tackles, which is just insane to me. If you do that, you take away tackle football. But I don't
Yeah.
think, and I heard your initial question. I don't think that the NFL is trying to replace its fan base with a casual audience. Um, no matter what, the NFL is going to be all right, bro. You still
Yeah.
have the next generation of those same older guys who don't want to watch it anymore. Those guys go on to have kids, bro, and they'll watch that shit. This is America's sport right now, and I don't think that's going to change. And Taylor Swift, she's not nothing new. She's par for the course. Entertainers have always been in the NFL business. Jay Z, all them guys, Lil Wayne. So no, I don't think that the NFL is in decline. I don't think that they're looking for a new fan base. I think that all that stuff is par for the course.
I
Hey, let me
think. I
say
think
that.
the thing. Go ahead.
BBO, right here as far as the fan base. You saying older guys? I'm gonna say this right here, man. My dad, them. I'm an older guy, but my dad, them, man, are diehard football fans. They don't even watch any other sports, man. That's all. So I think the like the hardcore fan base, which is maybe probably all the older guys, they the ones that really, you know what I'm saying, that don't. My dad and them gonna always like they Cowboy fans. They not gonna never stop watching football. They
Right.
complain about they complain about the rules and how things are changing, but they still watch it. You know what I'm saying? They like I'm like you though, as far as that's why the ratings and stuff like that'll never drop off really like that too much. You won't really see a decline because the old school fans are gonna always watch it.
I think the thing that I'm saying, Mark, is it's hard to. I'm just going off what they were saying in the Wall Street Journal. The thing is, you it's hard to see what the decline because they're so far ahead of the next sport. But I give you an example. Baseball at the turn of the century used to call what they call America's pastime was number one, and they did not make proper changes. And as you look at it now, baseball still is one of the best sports to be a part of because they're the only sport that you can have a 10-year contract. Other than I think it's the NHL and Major League Baseball, you can only have a 10. You have a 10-year contract, 12-year contract only with those sports. I think it's funny that when you look at basketball and you look at NFL football, these two sports are, black dominated. Isn't it funny how you have to go to collegiate and build that collegiate semi pro league before you come to the major league? And I think it's just overall you can kind of see that the NFL, the NCAA, they all working together, and it's shortening the players' time to earn. The NIL deal, whatever. And you see how that's going. Now you got Congress trying to stop the NIL deal. The whole thing I'm saying is I think it's bad for the players, and I think the product is not the same. When you watch any game now, you can see the difference. When I watched Peyton Manning or Tom Brady in the AFC Championship game, they had 25 million people watching that game. 25 million people watching that game. So I'll put it like this. You can brush off the fans if you want to. You want everybody to watch the sport. And if you don't, it'll become marginalized like the NBA is, or marginalized like the NHL is. Go ahead.
So couple things, BVO. Number one, you are correct. Baseball was the biggest sport in America at the turn of the century, but that was because of the Summer of Love. That was because of Barry Bonds and Sammy Sosa and them guys who were doing steroids. And then you had the home run races. The entire country was into it at that time. So, and that was a passing thing because eventually Balco came out and they shut all that shit down. So I don't think the NFL has a product like that that's reliant on something that's temporary. You know what I'm saying? What other point did you make? Well, go ahead, CDK. What other point did you make?
I want to ask all y'all this because BVO, you had said something, and I want to ask you. I thought Patrick Mahomes signed a 10-year contract.
He did.
Okay, that's what I was heard. Okay.
No, you could sign a 10-year contract in baseball because there's no cap, there's no salary cap. So a team like the Yankees or or wherever, they could pay you that.
Yeah. I thought I heard BVO say that it was only like one of the only sports you could sign a 10-year contract in. My fault. That's what I thought I heard him say. And that's why I was saying, like, I thought Patrick Mahomes did sign a 10-year contract.
Let me look that up to fact check that.
No, he did sign a 10-year contract, but that's very unique.
Yeah, that's almost unheard of.
Yeah, because BVO had said, I know I heard him say, baseball was one of the only free sports you could sign a 10-year contract in, and that's why I brought it up for the only reason.
Oh yeah, my mistake. I think we'll be getting.
Yeah, and another point I wanted to make, BVO, you said that baseball players could go straight to the league. That's not necessarily true. A lot of guys that come out of high school, they go to minor leagues, they go to AA and stuff like that.
That's pro. That's pro.
What you say?
That's pro, dog. That's not no college. That's pro, dog. You earning
well,
money
okay, but the NBA has similar leagues. They have the G League. Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you an example. They got a kid in Ohio. I gotta look up his name. He's 17 years old. He's getting ready to graduate. He's out of Columbus, Ohio. The kid has just got signed by the Kansas City Royals. I think he was the 4th or 5th pick in the draft. They gave him $10 million, a $10 million contract out of high school. So he's going to the minor leagues, but he's a pro. What I'm saying is this. It's funny how the only sports that deal with this type of stuff are the sports that's dominated by blacks, is what I'm saying. That's I wonder what's the real underlying reason for why the sports that blacks dominate have these salary caps. They also have these waiting periods where you can't just go straight to the league. Like, think about it. When LeBron literally left from the projects to the NBA. You can't do that anymore. I don't think people understand. He left Spring Hill Projects right to the NBA. What I'm saying is, I think that's crazy that the sports that are black dominated can't do that. I don't know if I'm not a conspiracy theorist or nothing. I'm just saying I don't like the way these pro leagues are going. And I think they're trying to take advantage of the product, which are the people, and they're not helping the product grow by legislating tackling out of football. I just don't like it.
I think that certain positions in football should be allowed to come out early, particularly running back. when you look at how they're being done in contract negotiations now, their age and their years of experience is being used against them. So if you have a breakout season as a freshman, you should just be able to come out and go into the draft. I don't know, BBO. I really don't have a good answer for you.
I'm gonna tell you.
Why they do that in the NBA? But go
I'm
ahead,
gonna
Free.
tell. I'm gonna tell you why they do that, because you got to understand, these are kids coming out of playing against grown men. NBA, you're not taking no hits. Baseball, you're not taking no hits. In the NFL, you're getting hit by grown men that's out there lifting weights. You got some of these grown men sitting there weighing 270 pounds, all muscle. You got these kids coming straight out of college. Some of them don't even play a starting position 4 years in college. So you got a kid coming out of high school. He goes to college. He have a All-American season. This kid is 19 years old. You want him to go straight to the NFL and play against a man that's 28, 29 years old, all muscle, coming in and take that kid head off, and then you're going to be like, oh, why they let that kid play against those grown men? That's the reason why they do that. They want you to become a legal adult. So when you out there, you had 3-4 years playing in college. You got a chance to go from that kid's body frame to a grown adult body frame. Because I've played football my whole life. When you go from going from Pop Warner to playing high school to playing college, it's a transition. The same thing when you go from college to the pros. It's a transition. When you put these kids out there playing against these grown men ain't going to look at them and say, hey, they're kids. They're going to look at it and say, that's the opponent. I got to go dislodge this ball from this person's body. So that's the reason why they do that.
That's old school. But let me say this real quick. There was a kid from Akron, I believe he was from Akron, named Chris Wells. I don't know if you guys ever heard of him. Chris Wells was 5'10", 225 pounds at like 12. Chris Wells, he never got any bigger. I'll give you that. He never got any bigger. Chris Wells went on to Ohio State. Then his name was Beanie Wells. That was his nickname, Beanie Wells. Mm-hmm. And by the time he got to the Arizona Cardinals, man, he was so blown out, beat to death that he wasn't the same. I'm trying to tell you, if he could have went right from Garfield to the NFL, I guarantee he could have ran for 1,500 yards. I don't think that's the case for everybody. Some of these kids come out the womb with grown man body. I'll give you an example. I was 5'11", 6 foot tall at 10 years old. So there are some guys who are meant to play this game that are able to go straight out. There's a guy, I don't know if people are familiar with, a guy named Herschel Walker. Herschel Walker could have went straight from high school straight to NFL. There's a lot of guys that can do it, and I think it's unfair to limit their earning potential. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, but what D Free is saying is, what I'm saying is Herschel Walker and guys like Adrian Peterson who could go straight to the league out of high school. Those are very rare, very very rare examples, BBO. And what D Free is saying is true. A lot of these kids are not built for the NFL immediately out of high school. Most of them are built for college football immediately out of high school. That's why you have redshirt years. A lot of these kids, I was watching a video. They were talking about what was your welcome to college football moment, and all these kids were talking about getting blown up and beat to death.
Yeah, and
they're not ready for that.
You can't do it for certain individuals because then you're going to have a discrimination lawsuit. You got to, if you do it for one, you got to do it for all. You can't do it just for one person. Oh, he's better than most people, so we can let him go straight to the pros. No, you got to do it. You got to open it up for everybody. So if you're not going to open it up for everybody, you can't open it up for nobody. Go ahead, G5.
Mm-hmm. Hey, what it do? Right. What's good? What's good with y'all, man?
What's up, Five?
Man, cooler, man. I hear y'all up here. You know what I'm saying? I hear y'all talking some good talk. Now, just because a person may have the size, don't mean that they can take the impact. You know what I'm saying? That's what a lot of people deal with, transitioning from like high school to college. They like, bro, dudes hit different up there. Or each level you go to is always going to be somebody that's going to bring it. And you got to, just because you may have the size to be a pro, your body got to get adjusted to taking that beating every day. And a lot of these dudes, they cry about in high school getting hit too hard. They cry at college. Shit, you think you gonna send that player right to the NFL to go against somebody that's 6'6", 250 pounds, and they run a 4.4 and they bench 500 pounds? Hell no. You gonna get that young man broke the hell up. But
Yeah,
um,
you're right.
it's just not gonna happen. Like it's levels to everything, and you got to get broke in and adjusted. Most of the running backs, they take them probably the first 2 years just to get adjusted to getting hit by these big old dudes. Some people they get hurt and they don't last. Some people they adjust and they get bigger, they get faster, and